Hello, everyone. My name's Landon, and this is the Extra Spicy Pod. Extra spicy because we're having all the extra spicy hot takes, baby. This is my friend over here, Evan. Say what's up, Evan.
Hello, my name is Evan, and today we got a good list of topics for you. This is our very first episode, so since it is more likely going to be an introduction episode.
Right.
So, let's get into the first topic. How do we know each other, and where are we from? Do you want to start, Landon?
Yeah, I'll go first. So we're just two 20-something-year-olds from Louisiana hanging out, chilling, billing, chilling and filling. We're both from Hammond. We met each other in school, elementary school, and we went to high school together. And now we go to separate universities, but we still hang out. We still chill, go to games together and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we still have fun. I sometimes come to BR to come see him. I came to BR today to come see this man film this podcast for you amazing people. so we can get this thing rolling, seeing what we can do, see what this is all about. Just get into it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time doing anything like this. We had this idea like a couple weeks ago. I think we were kind of thinking about it before that too. We were texting back and forth. Like, hey, we should start a pod. Yeah. A couple months later, hey, we should start a pod. Yeah. A couple months later, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like we got into it whenever we just kept talking about sports, and so we were just like, why don't we just start a podcast? Like, we always talking about sports, and then if we want to talk about anything outside of sports, we can do that as well, because that's like we have our little diverse things outside of our lives and outside of sports. So that would make this podcast a lot more interesting, and we can just determine what we want to do and what we want to talk about in like future episodes. And if y'all like it, then like we can certainly talk about that. Just hit me up if you have me on any social medias or whatever about what would you like to see next. Hit up Landon if you have Landon's Snapchat ability. I don't know, but we will continue to keep this going on for I don't know how long. We gonna keep this going for a while.
And yeah, we're gonna try. And like my friend Evan over here said, co-host and friend Evan, he said, this podcast isn't just gonna be strictly sports. We're gonna delve into other aspects of our lives that we kind of want to touch on, some pop culture moments that we think are significant, some other things we think are pretty cool, pretty chill to talk about. Not just NBA, NFL, but also some other shit that we want to just get off our brains, you know what I mean?
We may get into our personal lives sometimes if we really want to. We may go into, hey, what food do we think is the best food in BR? Like, we're going to be getting into so many different topics. I think every single one of you guys are going to end up liking this podcast because of how unpredictable we are. The unpredictability is the crazy thing about this. That's the little extra in the little extra spicy pod. You know what I'm saying, but I think y'all will end up enjoying this podcast. We will also try to make this as funny as possible. I know we are going to clown on each other. I already know that we are going to clown on each other like a motherfucker. Like he's going to get clowned on. I'm going to get clowned on. That's how it's going to go. You got anything to say, Landon?
I mean, podcasts can be about other things, but mainly sports. Let's just get into sports stuff. NBA teams, right, Evan? We each have different NBA teams, which are our favorite, which we like a lot. Mine being the Miami Heat, the best team in the NBA.
Fucking team on the planet.
Hold up. Let me explain. The best team of all time, the Miami Heat, right, Evan?
No, you're on fucking dope. I know I'm not one to talk, but like, out of all the teams you say is the greatest team in NBA history, you say the Miami Heat. The fuck is wrong with you?
All right. I jest, but why did it become a Miami Heat team? Because I'm not from Miami. I'm not from Florida. I don't really have many connections to the Miami or Florida. But my first ever NBA team I went to, my hometown team in the New Orleans Pelicans. I went to see the Pelicans versus Heat. And I just fell in love with the Heat from then on. Dwayne Wade was my ride or die. I I became a Heat fan the season after LeBron left, so I wasn't in the Big Three era. I was in there right after that with Dwayne Wade and Josh Richardson and who was it? Hassan Whiteside. That was my starting era of fandom, and then it just grew as Bam came into the league and Tyler came into the league and my guy Jimmy Butler came into the Miami Heat, and we're hot right now. Jimmy Butler been to 3 of the past 4 Eastern Conference Finals, 2 of the past 4 finals. We can't, get over the hump and win the finals, but that's all right, man. We got this thing, bro. It's Heat culture. In NBA circles, people talk about Heat culture. What is Heat culture? Heat culture is overworking, overperforming, doing all the intangibles. We're going to outwork you. You're going to have to put in work to beat us because we're not going to just fall over and die. You know what I mean, Evan?
Well, you know what I got to say to that about that Heat culture, quote unquote? If y'all were so hardworking and everything, then wouldn't it have y'all have won a championship by now?
Hold on, we're not about to argue about Heat culture because everyone knows about Heat culture.
Oh my gosh, you won a championship with LeBron and D Wade. But the team that is actually, I'll give you your credit here, that actually worked their way up, like last year, how the Heat were the number 8 seed and they made it all the way to the finals just to get curb stomped by Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. But I mean, I get what you're saying. Y'all won championships. I'll give you this. Your team has definitely at least won a championship, but I'm a ride or die. I am part of the fan base that is called the New Orleans Pelicans, baby. You want to know why? Because ever since I was a little kid, I went to go see the New Orleans Hornets. Me, my uncle, and my dad would always go to the games. We'd either be in the nosebleeds, or some games we'd go lower bowl. Sometime, whenever I was younger, I got to see the 09 Celtics with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rondo. I got to saw them. We lost to them. I got to see Tim Duncan, Tony Parker. I got to see the Spurs. And then I got to see, who else I got to see? I got to see a young Paul George whenever he was on Indiana. So that was a good experience.
Hold up, you're going there just for other players, or you're going there for your own team? Come on now.
No, I'm going for my team because I was supporting the Pelicans. And at the time, we had an amazing champion. We were the Hornets too. Instead of defense, we say B-fence. 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 It's a nice little pun. I know y'all don't know what having fun's like over there, but we had little puns over there.
Hold up. We're not going to argue about why teams are better than another. We're just going to introduce our teams. Don't say we don't have fun in Miami because, come on, nightclubs in Miami, the nightlife in Miami. We rolling every single night.
Yeah, the clubbing is fire in Miami. I will say that, but the dick riding in Miami is fucking massive too. I could already tell you that just from hearing, oh, we worked so hard and get so far. But we're getting off topic here. We are getting very much off topic. So I became a Pelicans fan mostly because they were mostly the underdogs at the time. At the time when the Pelicans were coming up or the Hornets were coming up, people really didn't have faith in them. We were like a bottom team damn near every year because our only good player was Chris Paul, David West. We had 3 All-Stars one year, but I mean everyone kept getting hurt. So it's like this year now, but we kind of are being smarter with it this year than past years. So, and I still believe people are always going to sleep on us, and so I want to be the type of fan, even when I'm 90 years old, and let's say we win the chip somehow. I don't care if it's Bronny James III coming to help us win that championship. When we win that championship, I get to be one of those few people to be like, I was with this franchise since day one. before we won anything, before we lost anything, I get to be with that franchise, and that means so much to me, to my younger self, and just as a person, it's dope.
So I gotta ask you, like, around what year did you first get into Pelicans fandom?
Around like 2008, 2009. I was like 8 or 9. Like, that was like the first time going to a game. I still got a Trevor Ariza jersey whenever he played for the Hornets. That is how much of a fan I am. I have an old ass Trevor Ariza jersey.
For those who may not know, the New Orleans Pelicans used to be the New Orleans Hornets back in the day, and then they rebranded and changed their name and everything.
If people want to get technical, we used to be the Jazz, then we used to be the Hornets, now we're the Pelicans. That's if you want to get really technical, but not many people actually know that though. So that's a little bit of sports knowledge for you, for the amazing viewers of the Extra Spicy Pod.
I mean, we're not here to argue what team is better. We're just here to say, look, this is my favorite team, and I may have some biases because this is my favorite team, and I may be biased towards this team. But at the end of the day, we both respect each other. We both respect each other's teams, right, Evan?
We do. I like Jimmy Butler. I like Jimmy Butler at the end of the day. I mean, do I think he does some hoe-ass shit to the Pelicans? As of recently, yeah. But do I like him as a work ethic kind of guy? Like, his work ethic is phenomenal. Just, he does some bitch-ass shit on the court, though. But, I mean, that's also me being biased. I can't really say that. But I like Jimmy Butler, though.
Yeah.
And I like how all y'all actually come together. Like, towards the end. Like, y'all won't do shit in the regular season, but when it's the postseason time, y'all come together.
Yeah, that's a Heat culture, baby.
Right, so, since I said something nice about the Heat, what's something nice you gotta say about the Pelicans now?
I mean, okay, the New Orleans Pelicans, they're my hometown team because I'm from New Orleans, so I've been to more Pelicans games than Heat games. Say whatever you want about that, but I have. And I've got to know the players a good bit, just seeing them on the court. I like B.I. I like CJ. I think CJ is my favorite current New Orleans Pelicans player. I like Jose Alvarado and Zion, the superstar that he is. The NBA media will say whatever about him, but he does a lot for the community, actually, and he's a pretty cool cat, not gonna lie. I mean, those Zion dunks, the Smoothie King Center goes crazy for those. So yeah, those are my favorite current Pelicans players, and going to the Pelicans games over the years. I've become accustomed to the Pelicans fan culture. Not that they have any, but if you want to call it fan culture, whatever. But just going to the games, having fun. I respect the Pelicans for that. Always a good time at the Smoothie King Center watching those boys play. I mean, not always. Sometimes they get blown out, and that's not too fun, right, Evan?
That it is not fun, but I'm gonna tell you a saying before I go into this next topic, and it's something that the Pelicans fans will trademark. Flock around and find out. But okay, so that was my little saying, but we're gonna go into this next topic here. Who are your favorite players from your organization or franchise, from either like currently or past?
Right. So when you think about the Miami Heat, they were started in the '80s, and obviously I wasn't alive back then to watch the Miami Heat back then. But you got them old cats like Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway, that really transitioned the '90s, and then the 2000s. '03, we drafted Dwayne Wade, which is my favorite player of all time. I fell in love with Dwayne Wade. He's the main reason why I became a Heat fan. Fell in love with Dwayne Wade, and then LeBron and Bosh came there and won some championships, so that's going to be pretty cool. Shaq was on the Heat too, baby. Shaq and Dwayne Wade won them a little championship as well. And then I became a fan the year after LeBron left, so I wasn't really swept up in the LeBron fandom. I was more of the Dwayne Wade, who was it? Hassan Whiteside, Josh Richardson, the early Josh Richardson days with the Miami Heat. And then I really became liking of Jimmy Butler when he went to the Miami Heat. I was not a big Jimmy Butler fan when he was in the Sixers. I said he was my least favorite player in the league. And the funny thing is, now he's my favorite player in the league with the Miami Heat organization. I think the culture that he brought and the work ethic, and him, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, those are the three core guys that are key to my fandom right now. I think they bring a lot to the court, both on and off the court, really, to the Miami area. They do a lot for the community, and they're funny, man. That trio's pretty funny. Come on.
So, I'm going to give our viewers a little bit of insight. The reason he didn't like Jimmy Butler at first was because he was on the Sixers. He hates anything Philadelphia.
Okay, not everything Philadelphia, but most things Philadelphia. I'm just anti-Philly for some reason, man.
What's one thing you like about Philly? And it better be one thing I'm thinking of right now.
That's a good question. I gotta ponder that for a good couple hours before I can think of anything.
I feel like the Philly cheesesteaks are good.
Nah, bro, those are overrated, man. Overrated as hell.
Oh, you gonna get shit on. If any Philadelphia viewers are listening to this, they gonna shit on you. But
if you're a Philadelphia viewer, I don't want you. Get off my pod.
I'll take you in. Don't worry. But so asking that question back to me about my favorite players and all this. Since I was a young little Pelicans fan and I got to witness all these players.
Young little Evan over here.
Little Evan over here. I like Chris Paul. I mean, I'm gonna say I don't want to be like that guy in New Orleans, like the Pelicans fan base, to be like, oh, I like Chris Paul, Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson. I do got some people. Like, if I were to have to say, like, a good bit of people, I'd say I have some underrated ones, too. So my top, I like the team we have now. I like everyone on that team. I don't want anybody to get traded, but whatever.
It's inevitable. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, in order to win, we gotta do something. I wouldn't blame us, but I do like the team that we have now. That whole team's amazing. But like past players, I like Chris Paul. I want to say I liked Anthony Davis, but I liked Anthony Davis, but it was the way he went out for me. If he was just like, hey, I'd like a trade, like, thank y'all for giving me all your amazing memories and times and all that, I would have been cool with that. I would have loved that. I would have just been happy with that because he's trying to win. I don't blame him. But when you go around the city of New Orleans wearing a "that's all, folks," that kind of triggers me a good bit because it's like, we gave you the love that no one else gave you in the beginning. I get it. You were a number one recruit coming out of Kentucky. You were the number one draft pick. But we still developed you. We still gave you the love that no one other organization is going to give you. Because, I mean, look at the Lakers fans now. They treat him like shit. They won a one ring, and they started treating him like shit. So, like, and in the context of that, like, every Lakers fan being like, oh, man, we need to trade AD. He's getting hurt and all this. Whenever he get hurt over here, hey, it just happens. We understand. Y'all are professional sports. Y'all are putting y'all's bodies on the line. So that is why I understand, like, all the shit that's going on. But that is why I'm not a big AD fan anymore. When he was on the Pelicans, I loved the way he played. He was dominating. Literally, the game against the Heat, it was where they were wearing, this was the old Vice City jerseys, the white ones too.
Ooh, those are nice. Those are nice.
He dropped like 47 and like 15, I think. I don't remember the stat exactly, but he dropped a good bit, and he was just posting up, doing everything. That was the team with Drew Holiday. That's another player I like too. Drew Holiday I've met Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday, nice. He a good ass dude. Good to the community. He's good to everyone.
Now he's on the Celtics, winning lots of games.
I hope he gets himself another ring. I legit do. That Bucks ring, I was happy for him when he got that Bucks ring. Now that's a player that I was happy to see win because he didn't ask for a trade. We traded him. But I mean, I heard that he was asking for a trade, which, I mean, he didn't do no extracurricular bullshit like that's all, folks. So that's why I was happy, genuinely happy for him. And then he still thanked the city of New Orleans after he won that ring. Like he got on the little television. He was like, "This all wouldn't have been possible if New Orleans hadn't traded me." So that made me feel good. Another player I liked under the radar, Peja Stojakovic. That motherfucker lit it up from 3, and I liked it. But I wasn't around for that though. So I had to go back, watch old film, do all this. I like Peja. Peja's cool. But I like Chris Paul because, it's Chris Paul. Who wouldn't like Chris Paul? Used to like AD, kind of, AD's like, eh. I like the current Pelicans team, so Zion I like, CJ I like, Brandon Ingram I like. And then Peja Stojakovic and all that team. That I generally liked.
Alright, I got a question for you now. So how about coaches? Because we discussed players. How about coaches? Past and former. What are your favorite coaches? In your organization history.
Alvin Gentry was a good coach. Before you're like, Evan, no, the fuck he was not. Let me explain. He was a good coach because if DeMarcus Cousins was healthy, like AD said, if DeMarcus Cousins was healthy that season with the little Achilles injury, we would have beaten Golden State. Because AD said it true. The mismatches for Golden State would have been terrible compared to Golden State. I mean, yeah, we would have gotten fucked up on guard play because Drew Holiday's got to guard Steph, and then I think Tim Frazier or somebody else had to guard like Clay. But the bigs though, they would have got messed up with the bigs. But Alvin Gentry made it to where whenever we had AD and DeMarcus Cousins, he would have one of them in the paint, but one of them on the outside of the paint, so that way they wouldn't clog up the paint. If you know what I'm saying, he would make it like a skyscraper type defense. If you know what I'm saying. So that is why I like Alvin Gentry. I like Willie Green too. Willie Green is cool, but the thing about Willie Green is he doesn't know when to play guys. Like that Pacers game, not the one where we won, the Pacers game a couple days ago where we lost. We were catching heat. It's just he has to know the right adjustments. Like you take out Jonas Valanciunas, Zion starts cooking, and he just put Zion at the center. So I'm just like, okay, does he even know what he's doing as in rotations and everything? So that's the questionable part about Willie Green. In my heart, I'm kind of scared if I give Willie Green another season. But at the same time, though, personally, I think he's a better young coach, too. He gives them everything they need as a younger coach. So, I already know what one of the two coaches are you going to say?
Okay, first of all, you gotta give Pat Riley the highest credit of all time. He's the godfather, he's the GOAT. Pat Riley is the best coach, one of the top 3 coaches ever, I think. In what he did with Miami, he's in the front office now, but he won that 06 championship with Shaq and Dwayne Wade. He took over for Van Gundy or whatever, and Van Gundy was a good coach, but Shaq didn't like him, so he had to go. Pat came in and come on, Pat's so good now. He won championships with the Lakers before then as well. But what he's done with this Heat organization since he came in, he's turned it into a top tier organization. And then you have Spo, Eric Spoelstra. Coach Spo is amazing. He is top 2 coach in the NBA right now, arguably 1 or 2, but I would argue 1. I know some people might argue lower, but I would argue 1. He's took this team to the finals twice now in the past 4 seasons with not much top tier talent. He's consistently takes guys who are undrafted, lower drafted guys, and makes them household names that they go to the finals with. Duncan Robinson, undrafted guy, household name now. You know, you go Caleb Martin, you go Kendrick Nunn a few years ago. You can get Gabe Vincent in there. I mean, just the way he coaches these guys, he turns these people who many people think aren't going to do anything in the NBA, and they're one of the top players on one of the top teams in the NBA, consistently making it back to the conference finals. I mean, you got to give him the credit, right, Evan?
I will give Pat Riley his credit because if you have HBO Max, there's a show called Winning Time, and all the current players don't like it because they say it's not the actual depiction, but some people say like it's a pretty close depiction. Pat Riley's in there. It was whenever who was it? Jerry West was first to coach, but then he was like, I'm not coaching this team because, they drafted Magic Johnson. So they got some dude out of college. He got hurt or something. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain the whole coaching order, but it ended up with Pat Riley having to coach, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and it was a good show. It still is a good show. I will give Pat that he is top 3. I would not give him 2 or 1 because we already know who number 1 is and number 2. We got Phil Jackson. Yeah, Phil Jackson, number 1. You got to give Phil Jackson number 1. And then number 2, you got to give Greg Popovich. You got all-time winning coach right there.
How about Spo now? How about Coach Spo?
Currently, I'll give Coach Spo. See, the thing about the coaches nowadays, though, is that there's not really a top, whatever coach currently. Because think about it, you got currently new coaches now. So I'll give Coach Spo, he's number 1, number 2. But that's also because look at what they got. Okay, if you want to give Steve Kerr his credit, I guess, but I'm going to make the argument of, well, look at the lineup he had when you had KD, Draymond, Steph, Clay, all that. He makes some good adjustment at times, but the Warriors this season, with how they actually have to play, it just shows more and more of what Steve Kerr has to do. Now, I give Coach Spo his credit because, like I said earlier in the pod, they were the 8th seed. They had to go through the play-in tournament, made it all the way to the finals. But y'all couldn't do nothing with Jokic anyway. I don't blame y'all because it's hard beating Jokic. So that's a very tough road to beat. And I do think that Spo is 1 or 2. I'm gonna put Pop at number 1, even though he has nothing to work with except for Wemby. Spo number 2. Either Spo number 2, or I'm gonna put the Boston coach Joe Muzzolato, whatever his last name is. I can't pronounce that name, but Joe, or whatever his name is, I put him at number 3. That's my current listings right now. But that's also, like I said, that's also because every coach is currently young. I'm not going to put Nick Nurse over Spo. I could be oh, but Nick Nurse has a ring, but so does Spo probably. Does he have a ring?
He has 3, Evan.
He has 3? Okay, just making sure. But
I did 2. Yeah, he won 2 as a head coach.
Okay,
yeah.
Just making sure. But I'm not going to put Nick Nurse be oh, but Nick Nurse had to deal with this. He had to deal with the Warriors. He won the ring with Kawhi and all that.
That Warriors team, they have KD now.
They didn't have KD. They lost DeMarcus Cousins. They lost Clay too, but I just think that lowered the playing field a little bit. Because I mean, with Cole, you couldn't really do anything about Kawhi, but the rest of that was just guard play at that point. So not much you could say about that.
All right. Well, I'm glad you could give Coach Spo his flowers because I was totally expecting to be like, no, he's a garbage coach. He's like bottom half of the league, bottom five, just because you're hating on the Heat, hating on my team. You know what I mean?
I mean, but the thing about that though is like if you are keeping up with the NBA currently, you can see like the competition's gotten better. The one coach that I would say is a damn good coach but just couldn't get the job done is Monty Williams. Like, even though he's on Detroit right now, and I can't blame Monty Williams because if they do fire Monty Williams, that's not a him thing.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic
That's
to delve into.
That's the Detroit thing. If y'all kept Killian Hayes for 3 years, like that's a y'all problem. That's a Detroit Pistons problem. But that's a subject for another time.
All right, so Evan, I have to ask, who is the best team in the NBA? I think it's the Boston Celtics by far. They have by far the most wins. They have the best home record in the league. I mean, it's got to be the Boston Celtics. Say whatever you want about the Celtics come playoff time, because I think Miami Heat are going to beat them, but that's another story. But this regular season, the Boston Celtics have been kicking some ass. Come on, Evan.
So I'm a deep dive into both conferences real quick. I think Boston's number one in the East, of course.
It's like an obvious pick.
Boston is a good pick. I feel like if you get the right pieces for Boston, or if depending on a certain team, it depends on the team. I feel like New York has a little bit of games that could beat them, but not beating them in a 7-game series. That'd just be me on some type of dope right now.
Yeah, let's go through it. So who do we think the Celtics could lose to in a 7-game series? Or are they losing to the Cavs?
I think they could lose to the Cavs, yes.
You think they could lose to the Cavs, really? I don't think the Cavs could beat them.
I will tell you why the Cavs. The Cavs got so much depth in their roster that's the key factor in all these teams. Is that if you have a good bench, you're winning games for sure.
Yeah, I could see that. What about the Knicks you just went over, right?
See, the Knicks are tough, but the thing about the Knicks is that they gotta stay healthy. If Julius Randle comes back healthy, Mitchell Robinson comes back healthy, all these key players that come back healthy, then we could see, who knows, maybe, because the matchups are going to be there. You're going to have Drew Holiday on Jalen Brunson. You're going to have Julius Randle on, who's the power forward for the Celtics?
Porzingis? No, he plays center. What?
Al Horford. Probably.
Yeah, Al Horford. Yeah, maybe.
Probably Al Horford. But the matchups are going to be there, and you're going to have nobody for Jason Tatum, so that's going to be a good series to watch. It depends on if they stay healthy though.
I feel like the Knicks will play the Celtics close, but I don't see him winning against the Celtics.
I don't see him winning in a 7-game series.
What about the Sixers?
The Sixers?
Nah, the Sixers will not get to the conference finals. You have playoff choker Joel Embiid out there at the 76ers making a fool out of himself every playoff round. Come on now.
I will give the Sixers their credit. They have been winning games without Embiid, though. I will give them their credit.
Hold up. They lost to the Boston Celtics last year in the playoffs when the Celtics were a worse team. Now they're a better team. You think they're going to win it?
But the thing is, with this, no, I don't think they're going to win it.
Right.
I'm just giving them props because they lose their best player in Embiid.
Yeah.
They're still the number 5th seed.
They're still up there.
So to keep yourself from out of playing contention, to be at the number 5 seed, that's still impressive.
Not to do anything in the playoffs, they need Embiid. They're not going to do anything without Embiid, right?
I mean, but the thing is, though, the organizations can just look at that at the end of the day and be like, okay, what do we need to do to win? We make the playoffs. What do we need to do to boost us out of like the first round, the second round, whatever? What do you think Boston did after y'all beat them in the conference finals?
They went and got Porzingis. They went and got Drew Holiday.
Exactly. So that way, whenever, let's just say y'all magically do end up facing them again in the conference finals, somehow they're going to be like, okay, we're ready for this. Bam got nothing on KP. Drew Holiday going to lock up some stuff. It's a different ballgame. So, but I will give Philly their credit that they do manage to stay in the playoff rankings. Now, I do think Boston's number one, though. Boston will always reign supreme. Now, as in, who could possibly beat them in the play-in tournament?
Wait, what about the Bucks now? You think the Bucks will beat the Celtics?
I think
in the 7-game series?
I think the Bucks are too wishy-washy. Their head coach.
Let's laugh at Doc Rivers a little bit. Come on.
We're going to talk about that later on.
Yeah.
But I do think with Doc's not a good coach. The only reason he's got that one ring is because of the super team of Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rondo, Ray Allen, all of them. That's what I personally think. I do think there's some circumstances though that he, from his past teams, that he shouldn't have gotten fired for, but oh well, this is a business. You gotta bid farewell. But I don't think Milwaukee can pull it off because everyone's got to be consistent.
Yeah, Dame and Giannis, they haven't looked like the best fit for some reason. Something's not gelling between the coaches and the Dame and Giannis. They've got to get better at their, the pick and roll game with Dame and Giannis. They're not at that upper echelon level right now.
See, to me, the thing about the Bucks though is that I feel like it's become more Giannis' team. Like how LA is like that with LeBron, I feel like it's more Giannis now.
Of course.
Because I feel like it's more, okay, since you won us this shit now, you can kind of do what you want, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You brought us our very first championship. You can have say-so, do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I personally think that people are, or that the Milwaukee Bucks are doing.
All right, come on. Miami Heat. You know I had to go there. 3 of the past 4 years, we faced each other in the conference finals. We won twice. Boston won once. 7-game series, 2 years in a row now. What you thinking, Evan? What you thinking?
If the playoffs ended today, y'all would face the 76ers.
Which we're beating.
But let's just say I'd have y'all beating them if the playoffs ended today. But let's just say the actual playoff time comes, okay, and they get Joel Embiid back, that's gonna be a tough game.
We beat Embiid in the playoffs before. Come on, man.
It's gonna be a tougher game. I feel like Embiid's gonna come back with vengeance. He's gonna prove why he got that first MVP. I think this time y'all beat Boston first round, but I feel like y'all lose in the second round though. Y'all do good, but when y'all gonna beat y'all's first team. I'm gonna give y'all that. Jimmy's gonna ball out. Jimmy's gonna do whatever. But that second team y'all face, they're gonna be some hungry dogs now.
So you predict us making the second round, but not the conference finals?
Not the conference finals.
All right. Who do you think is the Eastern Conference Finals teams in the East? I mean, my pick's going to be Celtics Heat. Round 3 straight seasons. I think that's going to be how it is.
So
that's my dream matchup, actually. I think that would be so cool. But go ahead.
So, looking at this, okay? Looking at this little standings right now, it's the playoffs end of the day. Who would have the easier path? So, Cleveland would have to face Indiana. I like Tyrese Halliburton. I like Tyrese Halliburton as a player. I don't like many players on different teams. Tyrese is one of them. I went to go watch him play. He's a good point guard for that team. Who knows? Indiana may upset Cleveland because of the star power they have on Cleveland.
Well, hold up. We don't know how the standings are going to finish off. So, who's just a better team? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm just saying. Like, if they were to end the day, but in this scenario, like all-star power, I got Cleveland, Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee should be lower. I don't know how they're winning games, but I think they should be lower. The Orlando Magic could sneak their way in there somehow. I don't know how they've been winning games. I need to watch more Orlando Magic film. I like the little theme song too. Go Orlando Magic.
Let's not be cringe now. Come on. Let's not be cringe.
Orlando Magic. Oh. But Magic can sneak their way in there. I feel like Philly's going to fall at some point. I feel like they're going to have a tough set of road games or a schedule up ahead, and they're just going to shift down to the play-in. New York's going to stay in there no matter what. They're going to stay at their little comfy little spot. And that's what I believe for the East. For the West?
Hope, so what's your official conference finals matchup then?
Oh, my bad. I feel like it's going to be Boston. I feel like Cleveland's going to get upset. So I don't know how. They lost to New York last season. So I think it's going to be Boston, and somehow, some way, Doc Rivers is going to get to the conference finals, baby.
Oh, yeah, and blow a 3-1 lead in the conference finals. That's how it's going to be. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, now for the Western Conference.
Yes, sir, for the Western Conference.
Who do you think is going to win for the Western Conference?
Ooh, okay. For me, it goes Denver Nuggets, number 1. And that's just because they've proven that they can do it. Last year, they won the championship. The teams on top of them, Minnesota and Oklahoma City, they haven't proven anything. Yeah, they've played great regular seasons, but they really haven't proven anything come playoff time. And you need that to be in serious contention and look in people's eyes, who's going to win the championship? You know, they're not going to take a team seriously who hasn't been there before. So in my eyes, the Denver Nuggets, obviously number 1. I think sneaky pick, the Clippers are going to be up there as well. I think James Harden and Kawhi and Paul George really gel together really well. I think the pairing started off kind of rocky, but since then, they've been a really good team. I think Phoenix is, either way, I think they're going to do really good or they're going to fall off a cliff. I don't think there's any in between. They're just going to do great or terrible. You know, with KD and I don't even know, Bradley Beal keeps getting injured. I mean, I don't even know how that's going to go. But with KD and Booker, you got 2 superstars right there that they can propel that team to great things. So I think Dallas, Luka and Kyrie, but they don't really have that much around them to really do well in the playoffs. I don't think Sacramento is going to do amazing. I think they're going to flame out. I think the Warriors and Lakers aren't serious contenders. I think they're pretenders. Come on, dog. Notice I left out the Pelicans up there in the standings as well. The Pelicans they're an unknown to me. I really don't know how it's going to go. I think it can go one or two ways. They can play really well with CJ, BI, Zion, but then they can also play really bad, just look like complete horseshit and be terrible. It's a question mark to me, dog. The New Orleans Pelicans. I think my conference finals prediction as of right now is the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. You know, if the Clippers win a championship moving into the new arena, they're going to win a lot of fans over in LA because they're going to be the most recent champion. They're going to have their own really cool arena. Dog, that arena looks pretty cool. Come on, man.
The wall. The giant wall. I want to go to a Clipper game just to sit on the wall. But I heard
you gotta be a Clipper fan.
Yeah, you gotta be a Clipper fan. That's what I don't like about that. You can't wear any opposing team's jersey. But I mean, that's a dumb rule though, because a fan is a fan. I don't think the NBA gonna let that stick. But
I don't know how they're gonna enforce that, to be honest. The Clippers though, moving into a new arena, if they win the championship, that's gonna be huge for their fandom. So Western Conference, Nuggets, Clippers. I say. What you think, Evan?
I think Minnesota's full of frauds. Knock out Minnesota.
You know that's for
I like Anthony Edwards a lot. I just think the big play, like Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, one of them ain't cutting it.
You know that's right.
So
Cat soft, Rudy Gobert soft. Come on.
the thing I like about the West, that no one is safe. Everyone's on top of each other this year, and I like it.
Mm-hmm.
As a Pelicans fan, I hate it. As a basketball fan, I love it.
West is very competitive this year, especially. It's really exciting. The West playoffs are going to be a bloodbath and great to watch as a fan.
See, I want to say this though. I want for this current matchup, I'm gonna say OKC and the Clippers. I think Denver is not as strong as they were last year. Because think about it, they got Brucey B. Like they lost him, so like I think that
The Denver Nuggets rookie, I think his name is Peyton Watson. He's been pretty good so far.
I know that I don't see Denver going far. I feel like Denver's gonna choke some way somehow.
Bro, I disagree. I mean, they have Nikola Jokic. They have, with a healthy Jamal Murray, I think they can go as far as Jamal Murray wants them to. Jokic just always give him that stuff, but when Jamal Murray is on, he's on.
But
when he's off, you know?
But I'm gonna say this though. It depends on the path of these teams. Like for example, as a Pelicans fan, I either want to be the 3 seed or be the 6 seed. Because if I'm the 6 seed, then I'm facing either Golden State or Dallas. Get me the easy way out. I don't want to face. I mean, we can beat the Clippers. It's going to be very rough to beat the Clippers. A game 7 against the Clippers. Don't ask me for betting advice. Don't ask me for your FanDuel. I ain't gonna be betting on that game either. But I think it just really depends on the route. So OKC, I hate OKC with a passion, but I will give them their credit. They actually are doing something this season. So
Wait, why do you hate OKC? Hold, just something quick. What is it?
So, reason I hate OKC is because I was at the playing game last year, and they kind of knocked us out. But I mean, they're not like. If I had a list of teams I hate, OKC would be like 3 or 4. They wouldn't be my most hated, but like they'd be like 3 or 4. Nothing too big, nothing too small.
All right. I'd love to delve in that further in another podcast, like our most hated teams. That'd be cool to dive into. But let's look at the standings some more. I mean, we were talking about the Western Conference here. You got, as of right now, Sunday, March 3rd, you got Timberwolves first, second being the Thunder, then Nuggets, Clippers, Pelicans, Suns, Kings, Mavericks, Warriors, Lakers, and then the rest of the teams don't really matter that much, right?
Yeah, they don't matter. So then for the East, you got Boston, Cleveland, Milwaukee, New York, Philly, Miami, Orlando, Indiana, Chicago, and Atlanta. I just can't wait to see how the playoffs are going to go in general. Like that's what I'm going to love.
Do you think everyone in the Western Conference playoff picture as of now are making the playoffs, or do you think someone's going to fall out the playoffs / play in all that?
What I would like to happen?
I mean, no, what you think will happen. I feel like the West is kind of set as far as the playoff teams that are going to get in.
Well,
like, I don't see Utah making it in. I don't see Houston making it in. I feel like the teams are kind of set as far as where they are in the...
I feel like they are set, but I feel like they're set as of now. They're set. But what I would like to see happen as a personal biased-ass Pelicans fan...
Yeah.
I'd like to see the Clippers go down. I don't want to face the Clippers.
Out of the playoffs period?
Not out of the playoffs, but like...
I'm not talking about where they are in the actual standings, just if they're going to make the playoffs. You know what I mean?
I feel like we have some unwritten beef with Phoenix. I would love to face Phoenix. We need Phoenix. I don't want to face Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, all of them boys. That's a scary matchup. I don't want that. But for a shocker... As much as I don't believe in this team, as when they play against us, I do believe Sacramento is going to steal that final spot. Like, it depends on how that whole team plays, though, and if no one gets hurt. I believe that Phoenix will be in the play-in. Will they make it out of the play-in? Of course. It's Phoenix. But will they have to face the likes of a Dallas or something? You bet your ass they will.
I feel like the playoffs, as of right now, they're kind of set as far as who the teams are in the West. Now in the East, I think it's a little more questionable because, you got Celtics 1, Cavs 2, followed by Bucks, Knicks, Sixers, Heat, Magic, Pacers, Bulls, Hawks. And the Hawks are they're trending downwards right now. I don't know if they're even going to make the play-in. I think that Brooklyn might make the play-in, or the Raptors might make the play-in. The Raptors are playing better as of right now than they were earlier in the season. I predict the Hawks to fall out, maybe even the Bulls fall out, and one of either Brooklyn or Toronto to make the play-in. As far as them getting out the play-in, I don't think any of those play-in teams, save for maybe the Magic, get out of the play-in.
I think that's ridiculous. I think that is something we will need to talk about on our next podcast, our most hated teams. So
Yeah, we can do that. You know what I mean? We can talk about the teams that we like, the teams we dislike, teams we have rivalries with, our personal biases, because that plays a lot into what we think as sports fans, our personal biases. What you did, bro?
I have no idea.
Hold up, what you did, man?
I just moved the camera.
All right, everything's good, bro. Everything's good. We kosher, we good, we Gucci. All right, well, let's get to our next topic over here. Doc Rivers, bro. Doc Rivers is the funniest coach in the NBA. For one, he doesn't stop blowing 3-1 leads. It is hilarious. He's blown, it's not like he's blown hundreds of them. He's blown like 3 or 4 maybe, but it's still funny that he's blown the most in NBA history. It's the same coach, different teams, but the same outcome. He just doesn't stop blowing 3-1 leads. He went to the Bucks this year. My man, he is taking that team.
So I will give props to Doc Rivers for giving his All-Star check to Adrian Griffin, the other coach of the former coach of the Milwaukee Bucks.
First of all, he should not have been the All-Star coach. He just got to the team. Come on, how can you, as the NBA, step in, have another coach that team? Either J.B. Bickerstaff would be a good one, or Jamal Mosley in Orlando would be a good pick.
Or the Boston coach would be good, but
he did it last year. I don't think you can do consecutive years.
I think it just goes off of best record. I think that's the thing. Either best record or if I'm thinking of Team USA, I think for Team USA, I'm thinking of who wins the NBA championship as the coach.
No, how it does for the All-Star game. So whichever conference is whichever number 1 seed in each conference. But because Boston Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla did it last season, he can't do it again the following season. You can't do it consecutive years. Mm-hmm. So that's why I went to the second place. Milwaukee Bucks at the time were in second place, and who knew they just got a new coach who hasn't been there for the previous however many games. He just got there. It's like, what? I coach All-Star game now, what?
But I will give him his credit for giving this check to Adrian Griffin, but Doc Rivers is a sorry coach. As a man that has watched this man, he had so many opportunities to get to the finals. He was like right there one year. He was in the conference finals one year. I think he was with Philly, or either with Philly or
Philly hasn't gotten in the conference finals in a long time.
I don't know if it was whenever he was with Philly. Like, whenever they were in the conference finals, I don't know.
I think you're thinking of Clippers, maybe. His Clipper days.
I don't know if it's Clippers either, because Clippers ain't making far either.
No.
Someone, whatever team he coached, they were, like, in the conference finals, and he choked it. That's all I remember. But Doc Rivers is not the greatest head coach in the world. And whenever I saw JJ Redick go after him, like on Twitter and stuff, and everyone going after JJ Redick, and then Patrick Beverly doing all this, all that, I'm just like, this man y'all are arguing about a coach that hasn't even won y'all a ring. Like, I don't know why Patrick Beverly talking, JJ Redick talking, but like, they haven't won him a ring.
We can say he's not a good coach, but I would argue he's not a good man. As a man, you have to stand up for yourself, and you don't put your problems on other people. He's done this for a few teams now. Back when he was at Philadelphia with the whole Ben Simmons fiasco, he put Ben Simmons under the bus. That's what kind of kickstarted Ben Simmons' little issues and him not wanting to play for Philadelphia and everything. He destroyed Ben Simmons, and he was their head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers. Come on, you can't do that as a head coach to put down on your guys like that.
I will say this though. I will say that Ben Simmons did deserve all that. Not the so much attack from Philly fans because of the one play he messed up on. But at the same time though, every NBA team just exploited him. He can't shoot. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna clog the lane. That way it's harder for you to shoot.
Well, we're not going to argue whether Ben Simmons is a good player. What I'm saying is, if you're Doc Rivers, you can't shit on your player like that. Say, I can't win a championship with this guy. Come on.
Like, I agree with that. But at the same time, though, you can do something about that. If I'm the head coach, I can do something about that. Do I believe that? Because what they said about Ben Simmons coming out of college was like his work ethic wasn't there. You know, all this stuff. And I can see it now, like, they were true. But Doc Rivers also needs to understand, like, he's worked with these great legends that were actually putting in the hard work and all that. He could have taken a better approach to it, I will say that. But do I think Doc Rivers could have been a hell of a lot better at it? Absolutely.
Saying to the NBA media, I cannot win a championship with this guy. What's that going to do to a man's confidence? If you're that head coach of the team and you say, I can't win a championship with this dude, that's going to shoot his confidence down through the roof. I mean, he's going to be so low on himself as a person. You know, that my coach doesn't have any confidence in me to be a good player. What does that say about Doc Rivers? That he constantly puts down on his players like that.
But here's the thing about these amazing situations. It's whenever you have something bad to you, it's how you turn around and make things better. Like we're gonna take the 2019 Bucks for example, when they lost to the Raptors. How everyone was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna win, they're gonna beat Kawhi. And Kawhi actually beat them and made it to the finals. And everyone that year was like, oh, Giannis can't shoot. They did the same thing they did to Ben Simmons. They just clogged the lane. You know, Giannis ain't going to. But what the thing Giannis did was, though, he actually got better shooting. You know, he actually put in the effort for it. I could see what Doc Rivers was trying to do. But at the same time, though, just to completely throw him under the bus, like, I understand if you're throwing an arm under the bus, but, like, to throw the whole man under the bus, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, I mean, you're focusing on the player a lot. I'm focusing on the coach. Like, Mike Budenholzer didn't put Giannis under the bus. Oh, he can't shoot free throws. Oh, he has to be better. He has to be better post player. He's got to go at it more. He didn't do that. Mike Budenholzer did not do that. Doc Rivers, he's going to put everyone under the bus. He could put LeBron under the bus if he was LeBron's coach. And you know that's true. Come on.
I do believe, though, that he will end up actually. I feel like he may get another opportunity at coaching.
He's going to. NBA teams are going to be dumb enough to say, this guy can coach. He's coached teams before. This guy gets regular season wins. I want him as my head coach.
Now, see, if the Pelicans ever fire Willie Green, I do not want
Doc Rivers, #1 coaching hire right now. How are you going to react?
I'm going to be throwing shit around the room. I would be so pissed off. I would watch Pelicans basketball even when we tip off. Because I already know what to expect. See, I've gone through so many coaches. I went through I went through Stan Van Gundy when he was in New Orleans with Lonzo. I ain't like that whatsoever because we were sucking.
He was there just 1 year in Zion's rookie year.
Nice little 2 years. He was there before Zion, and then after Zion's rookie year, and then we got rid of that finally.
All right, yeah.
But I do think. I feel like if you give Doc Rivers the right pieces, of course, I feel like he's a Steve Kerr, a glorified Steve Kerr. Except the difference between Steve Kerr and Doc Rivers is whenever it's in times for it shows the difference between both of them. When push comes to shove, Steve Kerr can actually be like, okay, let's actually do this now. Man, the year that the Celtics were playing the Warriors in the finals, did any of us think the Warriors were even gonna make it there? Nope. I sure as hell didn't. That's why I think that Steve Kerr is better than Doc Rivers. And Doc Rivers needs to actually be better overall. That's what I personally think.
I think anyone will agree with you that Steve Kerr is better than Doc Rivers. I think that's a foregone conclusion. I mean, this man, Doc Rivers, he was with the Magic and couldn't win. He was with the Celtics, won a championship with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen. So he had a lot of pieces that helped him win that championship.
I will say this though, if they didn't lose that 1 year, I mean Kobe would have 4, but if they didn't fuck up that 1 year, he'd have 2. That's all I gotta say. But Doc Rivers be fucking up sometimes.
Well, okay, and then he went to the Clippers and he had
Shit show.
Well, he had Chris Paul and he had who else was on that team? Blake Griffin.
He fucked up one of the most exciting teams in NBA history.
No, for real, that team was so exciting, and they just couldn't do anything in the playoffs.
I mean, I understand why though, because really the shooting aspect wasn't there, because it was like hack-a-shack, but in modern day NBA, because you got to think, DeAndre Jordan couldn't hit shit, so it was practically hack-a-shack, but with DeAndre Jordan. But at the same time though, they did play some of those teams they should have beaten though, like Utah, with Gordon Hayward at the time, Rudy Gobert. They should have beaten them boys. But
blew that 3-1 lead to I don't know if it's the Utah Jazz who blew a 3-1 lead too, but I definitely knew. I think he blew 2 3-1 leads in the Clippers, and I don't know, Doc Rivers, man. And then he went and joined the Sixers after he got fired from the Clippers. And he did a whole fiasco with Ben Simmons, threw Ben Simmons under the bus. And then he got James Harden. And that didn't work out because James Harden decided, hey, I don't want to play here anymore. James Harden does that from time to time. Whatever you want to make out of that, James Harden is kind of a wishy-washy player when he wants to be. He couldn't get it done with the Sixers. Moved on to the Bucks now, and now he's throwing the Bucks players under the bus. Hey, these players want to be in Cancun right now. I can't coach these players. They want to be in Cancun. That's your job, is to get them ready to play.
Your job is to get them out of that Cancun mindset.
Right.
But I do in all honesty, when certain players, I do like Jeff Teague's podcast. Jeff Teague got an amazing podcast. I like how he's so honest. And, for example, whenever he was asked the question, what would you rather do? Would you rather win a championship or have a max contract? He was like, shit, give me that max contract every day of the week. I get to party one day with a championship max contract, I'm set for life. And he's got a solid point, but at the same time, though, in this scenario, though, Doc Rivers has set all throughout. I don't think Doc Rivers just cares anymore. Think about it. If he gets fired again, where is he going back to? He's going back to ESPN.
Nope, he's going to get another job. He's going to get another NBA job. Come on.
I think
we all know that. We all know these teams that are in the bottom say, you know what, I think Doc Rivers can turn us around. And to his credit, he gets a lot of regular season wins. He just can't produce in the playoffs.
But whenever he does get fired and before teams decide to give him a chance, he's automatically going to go to ESPN. He's going to go get his job back, like he always does when he gets fired. Wait for a team to give him a chance. That team's going to give him a chance. He's going to go over there, fuck up, and then come back. Same cycle over and over again.
Okay, another little tangent. He was a terrible broadcaster. God, I hated listening to his voice in the broadcast.
He was a terrible broadcaster to the fullest extent of the law. He sucked. Like, I couldn't stand listening to him. Whenever he would broadcast on the Pelicans games, I damn near wanted to put my volume on mute.
Yeah, put that shit on mute.
But, alright, Landon. So, with the NBA season, regular season coming to an end, we gotta take a look at everyone's favorite yearly traditions is the Rookie of the Year. Everyone loves the Rookie of the Year. And so, we're gonna talk about Wemby. Do you think Wemby will be the best player in the future?
I think that he's without a doubt the best player, the best rookie right now. Without a doubt. I don't think that's even close. I think most people will tell you it's Wemby. Now, the best player look in the future, I think it's an argument that could be made. He's going to be the new face of the league. Braun, he's not that far off from retiring. He's got a couple years left max. Steph's up there in age too. I think he's going to start declining in the next couple years. So, you look out these players that have to be the face of the league. You could put Giannis up there. You could put Nikola Jokic up there, but I don't think the NBA wants an international player being the face of the league. I think the international player wants. Well, okay, never mind. Wemby is international. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Hold up. That whole argument is stupid right there. I don't know. I wasn't thinking for that one.
But just out of curiosity, what American rookie would you have said?
As far as American rookie being the face of the league, I don't think an American rookie this season can be the face of the league. I don't think Chet's going to be the face of the league. I don't think Jaime Jaquez is going to be the face of the league. I don't think Keontae George is. I don't think any of these players can be the face of the league.
See, my take on this Wemby thing, I think Wemby's going to be good. Do I think he's the future of the league? I think he's the future of the league as a center play. I don't think he's the future of the league as in international, everything else, because you got so many players that just cook. Like,
okay, who do you think's going to be the face of the league after Braun and Steph
Luka
dies?
Huh?
I don't mean die, I mean get out of the league, you know what I mean?
I think Luka. Giannis is tough because
I don't think Giannis can. I don't
know how long Giannis can hold up though. That's the thing. Because Giannis, plays a lot of fucking games every single year, but so does Luka though. I think Luka will will actually accomplish something in the next couple of years. That's what I personally believe.
Luka's good. Luka's really good. I'm a big fan of Luka. I'm a big fan of his game. As far as if he's gonna give the hump, I hope he does. Because I'm a big Luka fan. I know you are too, Evan. I hope he does. I can't see it as of right now. Maybe that'll change, but as of right now, I can't see that happening.
But I'm also looking at Wemby. Like, I think Wemby is one of the better rookies this year. I like
one of the better. He is the best. Come on.
I mean, but here's why I'm giving the edge to Wemby. If you look at him and Chet's stats, they're practically similar. But the only difference is, okay, here's what I'm playing with. I'm playing with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander taking 20-plus shots a night, 30-plus shots a night. And I'm still averaging that.
Whereas Wemby's the face of the team.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good argument. I like that point.
Like, I feel like depending on if Chet gains more weight, does all this amazing stuff, actually works on his game, I feel like he will be better than Wemby. But the thing I like about Wemby, though, but actually, no. That is a good point, but at the same time, though, I'm going to argue this too. Pop don't give Wemby that ball to save his life.
The thing with Pop, though, he's done this before. He did this with Tim Duncan. He puts him on minute restrictions. So he's only playing, 20 something minutes a game? I don't think he can go over 20 something minutes a game. If you let Wemby play a lot more, Wemby's going to embrace that role and play a full game. And you're going to see an unleashed Wemby. But Pop doesn't want that. Pop's thinking long term in the whole equation of it all, you know?
But see, my thing with that is though, is that if you want to develop, you need to draft talent. You need to do all this stuff with talent before you do any minute restrictions, doing all this stuff. Because Who else is there in the Spurs?
Jeremy Sohan. You got Zach Collins on the Spurs.
Zach Collins is on the Spurs. You got Keldon Johnson.
Keldon Johnson, I like him. Anyone else you can think of? I can't think of anyone
I
else.
think Tyus Jones is on there.
Yeah, that's right.
But like that's what I'm saying though. Like you don't have these like I don't want to say you have these like role players. I'm gonna say role players.
You don't have star players.
Like if you had like let's just say a Damian Lillard. I'm gonna just randomly pick Damian Lillard. You get Damian Lillard and you give Wemby the minutes restriction. Wemby's probably gonna be like, okay, I want to play with Dame more and more than just see 20 minutes because I've been hearing talks over this offseason that Trae Young wants to pair with Wemby in San Antonio. But in my opinion of that is you're going to a worse spot than Atlanta now. I feel like he got it good in Atlanta, but I feel like Trae with Wemby would be a good combination, just like Shea and Chet make the ball game fair. But the thing about the Thunder is though they got a bunch of good role players, and they have draft picks for life, for whoever knows how long, and that's what makes the two different.
See, me personally, I don't think Chet should win the award. He's not an official rookie in my books, whereas Wemby is.
I don't think Chet should win it either. But I mean, rules are rules. I will say that. Like if he played one game, if he played 1 second on that court, if he pulled an Aaron Rodgers this season, let's just say he steps on the court for a solid 2 minutes and tears his Achilles, we got to count that. That's unfair. But since he got injured before the season, I gotta count it. I hate that argument because I like Donovan Mitchell, and I think Donovan Mitchell should have won it over Ben Simmons.
I agree.
It just sucks because it just sucks you have to put him in that scenario though.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough. I mean, you look at it. Who's the other good rookies? Jaime Jaquez with Miami Heat putting up numbers. You got Keontae George with the Utah Jazz.
You got Jordan Hawkins too.
Jordan Hawkins with the New Orleans Pelicans.
I like Jordan Hawkins a lot. I'm glad we drafted him, but we can actually be smart and actually play him. But that speaks on what I said earlier about putting people in spots that need to be played. But I do think though that
Wemby will be the face of the league at some point. Either not face of the league, but like he's younger than Luka, so
one of the faces of the league.
One of the faces, yeah.
Okay.
Like he's gonna be an international player that where people could just be like, oh my gosh, Wemby, can I get your autograph? But that's like he's gonna be because like think about it, he's already a Louis Vuitton ambassador.
Right.
So like
yeah.
he already getting his name up there. So
well, this is another topic. Do you think the NBA will have a face of the league, or just move into this model of having multiple faces of the league? You had Michael Jordan in the 90s, you had Kobe in the 2000s, and now Braun in the 2010s. Moving forward in the 2020s, as Braun and Steph age, do you think the NBA is just going to have one face of the league, or do you think they're going to move into this model of having multiple faces of the league?
I think they're gonna move into multiple. It just depends on, let's just say Giannis wins like 3 rings. They're gonna focus more on Giannis and just be like, oh my gosh, Giannis is doing this. Oh my gosh, yada yada this, yada yada that. It depends on what players are dominating. Because if Luka wins 1 year, Giannis wins 1 year, Wemby wins another year, the NBA is a business. We all know this. They're gonna market their ass off. So they're gonna try to promote all 3 of them. Be like, hey, come watch Luka live on NBA League Pass, or hey, watch Giannis live on NBA League Pass. They're gonna market off of everybody. as they're currently doing now. So I do believe that there will be more than one face of the league soon.
All right, cool. I guess now we're gonna delve into a non-NBA topic and kind of delve into an NFL topic. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. You know, the relationship of a lifetime, right?
I think my personal opinion on that is all fake. That is all for the views.
Oh, you're not gonna give them credit, Evan.
No, I'm not
They're
giving
in
them
love.
credit. No,
They're in love.
No, the fuck they are not. Man, I'm gonna tell you this, okay? Somehow, okay, I think this was just a storyline script for the NFL to let the Chiefs win. Cause think about it, they were sucking ass before and who comes along to help them start winning games? Taylor Swift. What was their record whenever they played against they were with Taylor Swift 12-3 or something like that?
I think they were undefeated or close to undefeated.
Every time Taylor Swift was there, right?
They lost that Christmas Day game against the Raiders. I know they lost that game for sure.
But other than that, though, it's just kind of weird that if you really think about it, out of all of a sudden, y'all started magically popping off because Taylor Swift's there. I mean, I don't blame them because she was bringing in loads of money. I read an article she was bringing $330 million every time she goes to a Chiefs game. Something like that along the lines. I have no idea, but I believe, me personally, it is fake.
I just gotta say, for all of our viewers out there, the Extra Spicy Pod, we love love. We love relationships. We're not gonna hate on people who are in love with each other. We're not gonna put down on people who are in love with each other, right, Evan? Right, Evan?
I'm putting down that fake ass relationship. I don't care what you say. I'm putting down that is fake as hell. Watch them break up literally during the summer. If they break up during the summer, I'm coming on this podcast and I'm telling everyone I told you so. If they don't, y'all can throw an egg at me or something.
You already have breakup rumors going out there. I've seen them.
Y'all can throw an egg at me if I'm wrong.
I'm just gonna let it be known on this podcast, we love love. We do not judge others, and we love love.
We do try to be happy for people, but in this scenario though, when it comes to my money and me betting on the 49ers to win, they just messing with my money at this point. I don't like Travis Kelce, but that's also me being biased as hell. So I support them if they are actually in a healthy, happy relationship. But on the personal side of it, fake as hell.
Are you willing to place a bet on they're gonna break up within the next year?
I will gladly place a bet. How much are we putting down?
How much are you willing to bet on that? $50? $100?
Ain't nothing that high.
Oh, we're talking small money bets?
Yeah, we're talking small money bets.
You don't have confidence like that, do you, Evan?
Shit, I'm just too broke for all that. I'll place a $10 bet. Like I do on all my FanDuel bets.
All right. Well, I just want to let you know we love love in this podcast. We love seeing people happy. We are very happy for Travis Kelce that he found him a good woman that he's going to stay with hopefully forever, right, Evan?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But I do believe that they will break up though, because for the publicity, for the views, everything.
Bro, you do not stop hating, do you?
Bro, I do stop hating. It's just I don't believe in it. I don't believe in this bullshit. That's just me though. If they are actually in a healthy relationship, I will give them their credit. That's what I personally got to say about it.
All right. Well, we have differing opinions on this topic, like we're gonna have from time to time. You know, I think they're in love. I think it's for real. I think that all this, it's rigged in the NFL. I think that's all made up. That's awesome. BS. We can get into that topic in another episode if we really want to. How sports may be rigged, they may not be rigged. Some events may be rigged. I don't know about all that. In my opinion, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, their relationship has very little to do with how well the Chiefs are doing. Now, with that being said, let's get into a sort of a non-sports topic.
So, this is going to be like one of our final two topics, okay? So, what is our favorite podcast and who are our idols?
So I'll go first with this one. Some of the main podcasts I listen to, the Pat McAfee show, I think is really good. I really love Pat McAfee, and the vibe he brings to his show, his energy. I know he's on College Game Day now, which I think is really cool. A lot of people hate him on College Game Day, which I don't get because I'm a big fan. Him and AJ as well, AJ Hawk, they're really funny people on that podcast. They bring in people to interview throughout the NBA, NFL. It's really insightful sports coverage. Another podcast I listen to a lot is the Joe Rogan Experience. I think he's pretty amazing in what he does, covering topics, a wide variety of topics, from music to politics to MMA fighting to comedy. His range is very varied. He's a great podcaster. As well, another one, I kind of want to plug this podcast. It's a little smaller podcast, I think, but it's called The Boys Cast by Ryan Long. Listen to it, especially if you're a male, you will find it hilarious. What they do in that podcast, they go and it's two comedians, they come together, they pull up these wacky articles, these woke articles, and they just laugh at these people. Because a lot of these people, they deserve to be laughed at. You want to normalize cannibalism? No, thank you, my dude. I don't want you to normalize cannibalism. I'm okay with you not eating other people. I'm gonna not eat you. You will not eat me. And that's how it's gonna be. Do you agree with cannibalism?
I do not agree with cannibalism.
I'm glad we're
I don't
on
feel
the
like
same
getting
page.
eaten today, so.
Well, some people I guess do, you know?
But, so, I like my podcast items are more like, I do like Joe Rogan a lot. Jeff Teague is a good one. Now, see, there are some podcasts I can't get into because, like, for example, I can't get into Cam Newton stuff. I can't get into Cam Newton stuff. Who else can I not get into? Gilbert Arenas. I can't get into them two podcasts, but I'm a Joe Rogan type of guy. I don't want to be a generic person and be like, oh, I listen to New Heights, but they have some interesting topics. Who else will I listen to? The Old Man in Three, JJ Redick. He's a good ass podcast. I'm trying to deep dive into other podcasts now. I'm trying to learn from all these podcasting greats, so I can learn.
Do you just mainly focus on sports podcasts? Because I know you named a lot of sports podcasters.
I mean, as of recently, yeah, but as soon as me diving into the podcasting, I gotta start with the little stuff, the basic stuff first, and then go down to the deeper stuff. So I feel like that would be beneficial for me.
I mean, basically everyone in the league is starting podcasts, and so many sports players, NFL players, NBA players, they're starting podcasts. They're getting their own voices out there in the airwaves, and they're not having to do it through NBA media or through this media coverage. They're doing it by themselves, which is pretty cool, I think. Would you agree?
I think it is pretty cool. I like how all the older players are getting paid and stuff, but at the same time, though, I personally think that not everybody and their mama deserves a damn podcast. I mean, you could say the same thing about us. You could say the same thing about little Jimmy from down the street trying to start.
Okay, do you think we shouldn't do this podcast then? We should just call it quits?
No, I think this is a good little starting point. You know, the people that like actually genuinely try, we're giving our actual thoughts on this. We're actually trying to put a little bit of effort into it every single podcast, giving these amazing viewers great time to listen to. I do believe that we will end up actually doing great things in the future.
So you don't think everyone deserves a podcast, though?
Not everyone. Not everyone and their mama deserves a podcast, no.
Well, that's something I disagree with. I think anyone should be able to start their own podcast if they want to.
I do believe like they have the right to start their own podcast. But at the same time though, like publicize or making these people popular, like for example, Gilbert Arenas podcast. I'm gonna take Gilbert Arenas for example. The man said, and I kind of see his point, but at the same time though, no, because that's the point of the National Basketball Association. He said, and I quote, the NBA should ban European players.
Ooh.
He's like, think about it. They're unathletic. All they can do is shoot. Like, they don't play defense, and it's making the rules of the NBA softer. But that's the point of the NBA. You have all these people from different places get drafted and get through the motions.
Yeah, the NBA is pretty international as of right now.
So that take is kind of dumb. But I understand his point though. But at the same time, me personally, I think that take is kind of dumb. Because then again, you still have the people that come from, like, let's just say UConn and just dominate. I don't know who's coming out of UConn to dominate like that, or who's going to play defense like that. But you still have these people that will actually come and dominate at the pro level. Like, for example, we're going to take Herb Jones for example. Herb Jones came out of Alabama, out of the Crimson Tide College. He plays for the Pelicans now, and I've watched this man lock up Luka twice in a row. And I just watched him lock up Halliburton the other night. And he ain't no European player, so I just believe that the USA needs to get better at basketball. But that also sticks to my point. Not everybody in their mama deserves to have a podcast. I do believe they can start a podcast. The free will, freedom of speech, they can have it. The certain shit that they say on this podcast.
So just because you disagree with someone means they don't deserve a podcast?
No. It's just a certain shit that they say. If I come up over here and say dumb shit, but at the same time though, we're getting acknowledged for it, and people are just like, oh my gosh, this is a good podcast. But if an actual intelligent person looks at our podcast, they're going to be like, oh, that man Landon said something dumb. Like, I don't think he deserves a podcast.
Evan says a lot of dumb things, just to be on the record. He goes through his whole life saying dumb things 24/7, 365.
No, not all the time.
He said 20 dumb things in between these podcasts that we're doing. In between these little commercial breaks that we're doing, he said 20 dumb things.
I said 15. Jokes on you. Anyways.
More like 100.
Nope, not 100. But that's what I personally believe. I do believe that people should start a podcast if their heart is in the right mind to it. If people are doing it for shits and giggles, that's cool too. But if you're going to go on a podcast and get acknowledged for something dumb, I mean, if it makes international headlines, good for you. Like, for example, I like how, as much as I hated this topic, how Cam Newton was like Brock Purdy's a game manager. That was a big topic in the NFL. You know this. I know this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was actually a good, solid topic. But I don't think Brock Purdy's a game manager, though.
So I kind of get what you're saying a little bit, to where if these podcasters are making it big, like, they have responsibility to inform themselves and to have informed takes. That doesn't mean that their takes can't be unique and their takes can't be hot. They just gotta have non-stupid takes, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I understand where you're coming from now. I understand.
Because, like, whenever I heard Gilbert Arenas was like, okay, I think the players should take over and make the new media instead of, like, these ESPN reporters and stuff, it's kind of hard to do that because you're going to have your own personal bias. Because let's just say Paul Pierce gets on his podcast, because I know KG and Paul Pierce got a podcast. Let's just say Paul Pierce is like, oh man, I don't think let's just say LeBron plays like 5 more years. Oh man, I don't think LeBron's the greatest anymore. He won 7 championships now. He's done all this stuff. Yada yada this, yada yada that. People are going to get on his ass, but if he brings solid evidence of why, that's understandable. That Gilbert Arenas quote that I said earlier about banning Europeans, you can't really say that because we have seen guys actually play defense, and since the NBA is an international league, you may have a guy from Taiwan or China or somewhere may already have these skills. You may never know. It was just a dumb take in my opinion, but that's what I personally believe though.
All right, you have takes that are dumb, you have takes that are good. You have some takes that are pretty cold, and you have some takes that are hot. I myself think I have some pretty hot takes. That's why this podcast, we're naming it the Extra Spicy Pie.
Baby.
Oh yeah. This last little bit, we're going to go over our idols, or specific idols, not just in sports, but in life. I'm going to start with mine being number 1, Drew Brees. Being from Louisiana, seeing what he's brought to the city of New Orleans, to the state of Louisiana, he's done some amazing things on and off the field. Another one, I think, Michael Jordan. I think he's an extremely hardworking NBA player. In my opinion, the GOAT, but I know that's a hot topic as of right now. Dwayne Wade. The reason why I got into Heat fandom is Dwayne Wade. He's done a lot for the city of Miami. And honestly, he's just my idol because he's on my favorite team. And people are going to be like that. Their favorite player on their favorite team is going to be their idol just because it's on their favorite team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So, for mine, this is going to be a weird-ass list. I know you're going to be looking at me like, weird-ass list. Okay. So, I got 3 people in mind. One is Aaron Rodgers. Before you're like, Evan, hold the front door. Hold up. Why Aaron Rodgers?
You gotta do a darkness retreat?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a darkness retreat.
After we end this podcast, he's gonna be in the dark.
I'm gonna do a 2-day darkness retreat from school. So, I say Aaron Rodgers because he actually cares. Like, he tries to do good. But let's just say the whole situation in Green Bay, that wasn't really his fault. That was just a shit show in Green Bay. But if you watch like him like do interviews and like if you watch Hard Knocks this year, it shows that he cares about like his team in general. Like he actually genuinely tries to win. So Aaron Rodgers is one of them. Number 2, I'm gonna go to the UFC real quick. I like Dustin Poirier. I like he's from Lafayette. I like how he had to work his way up to get to the UFC. He dominated. Hard-working dude. So I like Dustin a lot. Dustin, great guy overall. Number 3, Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is as silent as a mouse. Let me explain. He is as silent as a mouse. He don't talk shit, except when people talk shit back to him. He's silent as a mouse. Extremely hardworking dude. He's willing to put the work in. And that's the kind of like person I kind of am. If someone's talking shit to me...
So you'd like to be a non-winner like Brandon Ingram is?
Okay, hold the front door. Hold the fuck up.
He hasn't won anything.
Okay. Hold the fuck... He got traded to New Orleans. But he put in the work to be better. What would you rather take? Would you rather take the Brandon Ingram from New Orleans or Brandon Ingram from the Lakers?
Brandon Ingram in New Orleans, for sure.
I rest my case.
But you're saying you want to be like him. So you want to have hard work, but also not enough hard work to win.
I do want hard work enough to win.
So,
but it's kind of hard to win when, one, your team's been injured most of these years, but you're the only one producing, though. That's the thing. If you're giving your all and you're producing and you just can't win, that's not on you at that point. Like, when I went to the playoff game against Phoenix that year, B.I. dropped like 30, CJ dropped 20. Like, everybody was actually contributing. That's not on B.I. B.I. was a high scoring dude. So you can't really...
If you want to be that legend, if you want to be that icon, you got to carry. I mean, look at what LeBron did. This is for Cleveland, or whatnot, whatever he said when they won the championship in Cleveland. He carried that Cavs team.
I wouldn't say carry.
I
wouldn't say carry, dog. You had prime Kevin Love. And you had prime Kyrie. That is help.
Well, the year before or after, he was without Kyrie, and he was still able to take them to the finals.
That's your kick. I like that version of carry. The 2018 Cavs.
Yeah.
That's a form of carry. But I mean, there's nothing he could have done about that either way. But I mean, teams do try to carry though. That's the thing. But that's also the point of playing team ball. If you play better team ball,
you're gonna win. It's a team sport, everyone. Basketball is a team sport. I mean, maybe not the most team sport, right? Because football is, very much a team sport. You can't just have one guy that's going to get you 80% of your wins in football.
You just can't talk shit to the O-line and then not expect to get sacked the very next play. So we all work together. You all bring each other up, do all this amazing stuff.
But in basketball, you can't have one superstar player that's going to carry your team to at least 50, 45 wins or something. That can happen. with LeBron going to the Cavs in 2018, he really did carry that team. You have, Giannis, Nikola Jokic. I know they have help around them, but they're still to a large part carrying their teams. I think that's possible in the NBA. Not so much in football, not so much in baseball or hockey or soccer to that much extent. You agree, Evan?
I agree. I absolutely do agree.
Nice.
But overall, that's our idols. This was our very first introduction episode. I really do hope y'all like the Extra Spicy Pod and will continue to listen to the Extra Spicy Pod. I'm Evan and I am out of here.
Signing out. This is Landon. Thank y'all for listening. I hope y'all like it. Like Evan said, I hope y'all agree that the Miami Heat are better than the New Orleans Pelicans. With that being said, adios.